Katie. I would like to thank you for joining me today to discuss Planned Parenthood and abortion rights. Today I'd like to get a little better understanding of what your views are. So if you want to just start off telling me a little about what you think of it, any of your experiences, things like that, go ahead.
Sure. Hey, Marta.
Hi.
So I personally have never used Planned Parenthood before, but I know it is a great service for women to use in order to get birth control and day after pills or whatever that they need, and I know it's free of cost, so it's nice for them to be able to do that. In addition, you can get like HIV screenings, cancer screenings, all those types of things.
Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is that you like it because of what it provides for people who can't necessarily afford it or who might need a screening of some sort.
Yeah, if they're not able to go to the hospital or if they don't have another outlet, like they don't feel comfortable telling their parents, or in some certain situations where they're not able to reach out and get any other help, go to a hospital, those kinds of things. I do think it is a great source to have for birth control or those kinds of things, or if they are embarrassed about like needing to get tested for cancer or HIV, it's a great resource for that. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's good. Awesome. So since you haven't used it personally, what do you know from maybe your friends or anyone else who's accessed it, or maybe just birth control in general, what their experience has been with it?
I've had many friends that have used birth control through Planned Parenthood, and yeah, many times it would be, it wasn't even necessarily because they were sexually active or that, and they were trying to hide it from their parents. It really was because they just couldn't afford it, and they did have like irregular periods, or they didn't want to they were tired of not feeling well, those kinds of things, and they was in high school and they just didn't know what else to turn. Some, not that I condone it, but like some girls who would get on birth control for like acne and those kinds of things in middle school and high school, and they just didn't want to go to the hospital and do the whole get all checked out down there, so then they wanted to wait and just did the whole Planned Parenthood thing. So
okay. So you do you think because of the service it provides that the government should sponsor it, or to what extent do you think they should sponsor it?
That's a hard question, because I'm not saying that any Joe Blow should just come into Planned Parenthood and be able to get birth control, because I'm not saying that everyone should just be totally free to do that. And but if they do need it, I'm glad that the government does provide funding towards that. So I was thinking about it, you can go to the hospital and you can get a male can get free medication for erectile dysfunction disorder. So women should have the same type of right if they wanted to get birth control. Because even if we go, I know for my mom's insurance, even if we go, we can't even get a mammogram for free. And I just think there should be equalities in that sense. Yeah. But at the same time, we shouldn't be handing out birth control like it's candy either.
Right. Okay. So what I hear you saying is that you kind of think that it can kind of serve as something that helps out with maybe healthcare inequalities or just because healthcare is so complex and provides so many different things for so many different people, that it can kind of be an extra resource if health insurance doesn't cover something?
Yeah, I do, and I know I don't know what all the details are with Obamacare, but I know Obamacare makes sure that you can you're able to access birth control, and I don't even know the details of that, if it's through Planned Parenthood or what it's through, if you can get it through the hospital or whatever, but at least there is Planned Parenthood available.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So, I guess just as a college student, how do you think it plays a role on campus or among college students?
Well, from not my personal experience, but other people's personal experience, I know it comes in handy quite often with the female population. I know, especially at this age, girls do not want to be having babies because they're pursuing careers and they want to do other things first. So they rely on Planned Parenthood at times, to save them from those kinds of things. And it's all up to, there's so many factors that come into play, religious views and all those kinds of things that determine whether or not they believe in that. But, it is, at least it's there. I know also from personal experience, on campus that women. I mean, there are like sexual assault cases that come about, and at that time in your life, it's not like you're necessarily ready to have a baby. And do you really want to have that child or have a child with the person that has done that to you? And like, it's a good option to have the day after pill accessible to you, so you don't have to have that for your whole life.
So what I hear you saying is that it's kind of a good option to have for kind of uncontrollable circumstances, things you don't have control over, things you don't expect to happen.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like if you're just having sex all over the place. I mean, if you get pregnant, maybe you deserve to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And then maybe the Planned Parenthood thing, like, I don't think it should be able to just be available to you, but if it's like an unforeseen circumstances, things do happen, people make mistakes, like, and you're not ready to have a child, I think it'd be better to have that available to you so that there aren't people having children that aren't ready to have children, just so that these children can be raised and not under the best care and under the best circumstances, and maybe not turn out the best as a result, and then this cycle just keeps repeating over and over again.
Yeah.
So maybe you can stop it a little bit, but as long as it doesn't stop it too much.
Okay. Awesome. So, I guess just kind of to wrap up here, what do you think the public knowledge is? Or I guess the public's perception of it, or maybe just in the political realm, like how, maybe why certain laws are passed supporting it, or just anything like that. What do you?
Yeah, it's definitely just very two-sided. Like, there's definitely like, one side, like, religious views come into play, and I understand why. Like, I mean, once the egg is ovulated, like, yeah, it's supposed to be a human being. So like, I understand that that's a baby, like, it's all about religious views, and it comes down to really personal beliefs, and I don't think like government or anything can really determine that, so it's just hard to like draw that line on Planned Parenthood and how much funding there should be, like, and I don't know how many locations there should be. There's just so many things that come into play, and I really don't know if we're doing enough, if we're doing too little. It really comes down to your government leader.
Right. Okay. So what you're saying is that it should exist just as an option, but not forced upon people, depending on your religious views or how you feel about it politically.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think that the government should be able to limit it, but so it should always be available, but it's just to what extent and where do you draw the line and who should it be available to.
Okay. And you kind of said the extent, just in terms of just because certain healthcare doesn't provide for it necessarily, so that's why it's a good thing that could be supported by taxpayer money. Is that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, but like if it's, I don't know, it's hard because if it's like some girl that's just coming in there with like 18 boyfriends.
No, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just the complications of healthcare, that I definitely resonate with that. So that makes sense. Okay. Great. So I think I have what I need from you. I definitely have a better understanding of what your views are. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. Thank you for coming in today.
Smart.
You're
Go Dodgers.
welcome.